happy that our Tuhin ji is LLB graduate from ILS Law College, Moot. And I also welcome Professor B. Lakshmi, Emeritus Professor, Dr.B.R.Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University, and Professor S. Sumitra, former Principal, B.R. Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University. Both of them readily accepted to be the guests of honor for this function. I am happy. Both of them were my colleagues. We worked together for more than 30 years in Dr. B.R.Ambedkar College of Law as faculty of Andhra University. Thank you, madam. And Registrar, Dr. Vice-Chancellor, faculty, student friends, and supporting staff and non-teaching. I am happy we are conducting the 76th Constitution Day celebrations, and why we are observing this Constitution Day every year, along with Independence Day and Republic Day and various other important national festivals like October 2nd, Gandhi Jayanti, Ambedkar Jayanti. The reason is we the people have to rededicate ourselves to the national cause, and as we know, we have to remember the services rendered by the great national independence leaders fought against British colonialism, and we got the independence. We had our own constitution. And we know the making of the Constitution, we know the contributions of different Constitutional Assembly members, including the drafting committee chairperson, Dr. B.R.Ambedkar, and other members of the drafting committee, and the important person, constitutional advisor, Sir B.N. Rao, who was the architect of Government of India Act 1935. And on behalf of Constitutional Drafting Committee, Sir B.N. Rao visited several countries and obtained several advices from various jurists of those days of different countries. Particularly, when he visited America, Justice Frankfurter, the then judge of the Supreme Court, who was elevated from academics, he was a professor, elevated to the American Supreme Court. Justice Frankfurter advised B.N. Rao, because of the due process clause under American Constitution, the legislature and the executive had some problems in implementing their policies. That's why, instead of due process, you took procedure established by law. That is what was incorporated under Article 21. The second advice given by Justice Frankfurter to Sir B.N. Rao regarding restrictions. Under American Constitution, regarding the freedom, restrictions were not mentioned. So if possible, you can specify the restrictions. And the advice followed by Sir B.N. Rao and other drafting committee members, the restrictions were insisted and provided under Article 19. 19 Clause 1 provided different freedoms, whereas from Article 19 Clause 2 to 6, various restrictions were provided. So that was the contribution of different jurists of the world to the Indian constitutional making. Even then, Indian constitution is made keeping in view the circumstances, the social conditions, the economic conditions, the political conditions of the country. So the success of Indian constitution for the last 75 years, now we entered into the 76th year, shows how Indian democracy was well protected by our constitutional organs, by providing separation of powers and various other constitutional doctrines. We have fundamental rights, we have directive principles, we have fundamental duties, whereas we have Indian polity adopted from parliamentary democracy, and we have separation of powers, we have central-state relations. At the same time, we maintain the flexibility by providing the amendment clause. And all we know, and all these checks and balances provided the Indian Constitution more stronger in the world. And recently, the Supreme Court judgments also on regarding various important human issues, Supreme Court of India provided solutions. Recently also, while maintaining balance regarding the separation of powers, the recent judgment of the Supreme Court regarding the time fixation on the time given to the assent by the governor and the president, there also the Indian Supreme Court maintained the balance. So Indian Supreme Court there also insisted about the separation of powers provided under the Indian Constitution. So Indian Constitution is not mere a legal document. It is a meta-legal document. It is a political document. It is an economic document. It is a social document. So on this auspicious day, we gathered here to dedicate ourselves to constitutionalism, to the Constitution of India, under which protection the Indian democracy prevails. So I welcome the guests. Thank you very much for this patient listening of my India is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, equality of status, and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, ensuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation in our Constituent Assembly this 26th day of November 19 hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution.
Mr. Tuhin Sinha, I.P.S 2017 batch, the Superintendent of Police, Anakapalli District. Sir is an officer known for his commitment to public safety. He has played an important role in crucial anti-ganja operations and in strengthening cybercrime awareness. Sir has graduated from ILS Law College, Pune with gold medals. He has previously served as Additional SP Narsipatnam, SP of ASR District, and Deputy Commissioner of Police, Visakhapatnam Zone 2. His proactive approach, accessibility to citizens, and focus on effective policing make him a respected leader in the force. We are honored to have you here with us today, sir.
And fraternity that it embodies. Constitution of India is the cornerstone of our democracy. It is a living document that reflects the aspirations of the people of this great nation. I also want to emphasize the role of law and order in our society, especially from the perspective of upholding the Constitution. The police force, much like the judiciary, plays a very pivotal role in ensuring justice and safety for all and upholding the principles of Constitution. All of you know that our task is not without its challenges. We live in a time where rule of law is often tested to its very limits. There is scant respect for law in most of the places. So it becomes our responsibility and all of you as emerging leaders and legal minds to ensure that we influence the future of our legal system and ensure progressive changes are made to the legal system to better the law and order and safety of the people and uphold the principles of the Constitution. Today I urge each of you to reflect on your role in the society, in the community. As you pursue your studies and careers in law, I encourage you to cultivate a sense of empathy and responsibility and imbibe in all the constitutional values. As already told by VC sir, I am also a law graduate. I studied in I.P.S Law College, Tuhin from 2012 to 16. I graduated in 2016 and I became an I.P.S officer in 17. During my tenure in I.P.S Law College, apart from regular syllabus that we had to study Constitution for, we also had to refer to Constitution for basically everything and anything that we studied in the law college, be it moot court competitions or judgment analysis competition, debates, so on and so forth. After that, I even chose law as my optional subject for the UPSC exam. So there also I again had to study the Constitution and the various hefty books that comes along with it. And let me tell you that going through all the books like D.D. Basu, Sirvai, MP Jain can really be overwhelming at times. You will feel going through all these books that a lot of these things are getting repetitive. We are studying about the same things over and over again. Ultimately, all these books, all the judgments will talk about the basic features of the Constitution, the basic concepts of Constitution and ideals of the Constitution. I also felt that I was having difficulty in understanding and remembering all the citations and case laws, both for my UPSC exam as well as for the regular curricula. But as you pass out from the university, you will feel that it will have such a profound impact on your overall perspective, and it will, without even realizing it, the core values of Constitution like justice, equality, fairness, non-arbitrariness will get so much imbibed in your system that these principles are going to help you in your career as well as whatever work that you are going to do. So even if in the future you do something right or you do something wrong, subconsciously you will know whatever you have done, what is the correctness in terms of Constitution, and that will help you steer you towards the right direction, and that is the beauty of our Constitution. Also, as I've already told you, it is not just about mugging a bunch of facts and a bunch and all the case laws. It is about carrying these values wherever you go. I, as a police officer, we have to deal with crime on a daily basis. We have to deal with laws on a daily basis. Sometimes the discretion also plays a crucial role. It is during these times that I always tend to remember my study of constitutional law and the principles that it contains. And it really helps you. And I am telling you that it is going to help you a lot when you go into any profession, be it corporate law, be it advocacy, or like myself in civil services. Another correlation that comes with the study of Constitution is following of the laws. You must have studied the origin theory or the social contract theory as propounded by Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau. I'm sure they must have tormented you in your first and second years. But that social contract theory forms the basis of origin of law. It's a beautiful theory. It simply states that we, all of us together, have agreed to enter into a social contract that yes, we are going to abide by certain rules and regulations that we call laws in exchange for the benefits that you are going to derive from the state. This is all what the social contract theory is all about. Based on the social contract theory, we have all the laws that we have in our country that all of us collectively have to follow. I, as a police officer, feel that it is my responsibility to keep on harping on the fact that if we wean away from following of these laws, there will be chaos and there will be social disorder. Responsibility of following it, because people will look at you from now onwards. Not everybody gets an opportunity to study law, and especially in such a prestigious university such as yours. However, I have a bone to pick with all of you. Even if we have agreed for a social contract theory, then also we have seen some of the laws being flouted. Traveling on the road, wherever your main gate is, unfortunately I have seen people driving motorbikes without helmets. It may seem like a small thing, but this is a social contract theory that all of you have signed. And now we are breaking it. So, it is ultimately for your own safety, it is for your own well-being. This is how the Constitution plays into our daily lives. We have to ensure that others are following the Constitution, others are following the law, and it has to start with us. With respect to these traffic rules, there is no need to tell all of you are smart people, all of you have smartphones with you. But for the sake of repetition, I want to again tell you it is for your own safety. Apart from helmets, no driving on the wrong sides, no triple riding, no rash driving, and no driving without proper records. So I understand all of you are in college, most of you have received freedom after a long time, but these are the rules that you must follow from now onwards, so that the people who actually look up to you, they will start following you. They will also start following the traffic rules. And even if you don't know, the impact that you will have on the society will be such that even by your actions you will be able to influence and bring about a change. So I would request all of you to follow the traffic rules quite sincerely. If any issues you ever have, police department is always ready for your service. Second issue that I want to bring across is I.P.S. Act. Consumption of ganja is a major problem in this part of the country. I'm not sure how many of you are actually from this part of the country, but the district that we are presently residing in, Anakapalli District, as well as the neighbouring district of Honorary, perennially there has been a problem of cultivation of ganja and transportation and consumption, and it directly and also indirectly is actually fueling a lot of anti-social and anti-national activities. It is not only about you or me. It is not about whether you agree with something or don't agree with something. It is about the law, it is again about the social contract. So if all of us have decided together that we are not going to deal with a particular substance, that means we are not going to deal with it. So the state that we are residing in, state of Andhra Pradesh, is very serious about this issue. It has multiple implications all throughout the social and economic fabric of the state, and from here on this contraband, that trade in contraband, is actually leading to several problems in other parts of the country as well. So it becomes our responsibility again that we educate the people around us. We ourselves at all times stay away from all these kind of contrabands and psychotropic substances. I would also request the college administration and especially the hostel wardens to conduct surprise checks now and then to educate the students and to ensure that nobody deviates from the said path. I would also request you, if you or anybody are facing any kind of problems with respect to the issue we just discussed, there is a toll-free number called 1972, so that if you call on this number and any information that you want to share, that will reach directly to the concerned authorities and your identity will be kept confidential. So take it as a service that you are doing for the people around you. Not everybody falls into this voluntarily. It could be due to multiple reasons. The government is there to support you, the police department is there to support all of us. So I would request your cooperation and the college's cooperation to ensure that we deal with this problem suitably. Last, regarding crimes against women, you all are privileged to be studying in this reputed college and being shown so many new perspectives and progressive ideologies. So I would just say that this campus should be a no-nonsense campus, no harassment, no teasing of any sort. at any point of time, if any person, male or woman, male or female, they feel threatened, they feel harassed, they feel any kind of problems, the college administration is always there to help you out. We from the police department are always there to help you out. Just have to call 112 and we will be there for your help. And again, that goes without saying, your identity will be kept confidential. So with these words, I again would like to first of all congratulate all of you for being part of this wonderful school, and you have been given a great opportunity. This opportunity you will not get later on when you start working. You will be mostly left alone and your friends will be here and there. Please utilize this opportunity well. There are a lot of people that you might have not have spoken to till now, even after being in 4th or 5th year. Please utilize this opportunity. Speak to everybody around you, develop relations, develop personal relationships. This is what is going to help you in the future. Never be ashamed to admit that, okay, you don't know something and you need help from your batchmates or from your fellow students. So please focus on that, develop a lot of good contacts, develop a lot of good friendships. Speak to all your professors and all your VCs, they are there to support you and help you out. In the future, whenever you need help, these are the people that are really going to stand for you and guide you whenever you are stuck somewhere. So that is all from my side. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you for your address, sir. I believe your perspective on law and constitution as law student yourself resonates with everyone present here. I now take the pleasure of introducing our guest of honor today, Professor Lakshmi ma'am. Professor Lakshmi ma'am is a distinguished Professor Emeritus at the Dr.B.R.Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University, where she served since 1990, a remarkable academic journey spanning over 3 decades. She received her LLM and PhD from Andhra University and over the years has received several honors, including the Best Researcher Award and the prestigious Parinarayana Sastry Gold Medal Award for her thesis. As a mentor and guide, she has supervised a significant number of doctoral dissertations as well. Her membership in leading professional bodies such as the Indian Law Institute and Indian Society of International Law reflects her deep engagement with legal scholarship and public policy. I now request Lakshmi ma'am to address the gathering.
Sri Tuhin ji, Tuhin Sinha ji, and my great friend Professor Sumitra. Let me extend my warm greetings on the happy occasion of this day, November 26th, which is Constitutional Day. And of course, my pleasure of greeting on this happy occasion goes incomplete unless I extend my wish to all the faculty members, scholars, students, and even the supporting staff. Friends, throughout the year, we keep celebrating number of days on various occasions, and most of the days we celebrate them as a matter of joy. There are very few days which celebrate not just as matters as an event of joy, but rather as an event of great pride. Very few occasions, very few days would give this opportunity. So this day is one such opportunity where we rejoice in great pride, because this is the day on which the Indian Constitution has become functional and has been adopted, and adoption of Constitution is the ultimate demonstration of self-identity for any country. As United Nations, in the context of issuing certain guidelines, certain principles relating to adoption of Constitution, it made one statement. That is, it said that this is something adoption of a constitution revolves, or it centers around the idea of national ownership. So it is that is the proud position which we have, and we are enjoying the fruits of adoption of our constitution with rich values. So therefore we have every reason to take great pride in this. It says, when we look at our constitution, we would say that it's a sweet fruit of a very long struggle for independence. When I say that this is a demonstration of our self-identity, this self-identity for our country, it has not just come, it did not happen in 1 day or 2 days. It had taken years together, where many people have struggled hard to gain this independence. There were some heroes who could make their mark, who could get their recognition, but there are many unsung heroes as well. But whatever it is, we living in this era, we have been living on the struggles made by various heroes, freedom struggle heroes, and we are enjoying the fruits of it. Now I would like to bring to your notice just 2 aspects. One thing is, we have drafted this constitution way back in 1947, 76 years have passed, and United Nations had come out, it has enlisted a set of principles. United Nations, whose mission is to maintain international peace and security, it has come out with a set of principles which are expected to be imbibed in any constitution, because it has, in its opinion, having a national constitution, it has seen the link between maintenance of peace and a nation having its own constitution to go by. Because when we say that we have our constitution, as we know, constitution is something which imbibes in it our assertions and great many aspirations. 76 years we have had a great journey, I would say that. No doubt there would be certain occasions where one might feel a little disappointed about state of affairs. That would always be there in any human history. But we would say that we have the kind of a constitution which is very, very resilient in its character. And one solid point that we have to observe is the background in which our constitution has adopted. No doubt I say that this is the outcome of national struggle for independence. But our national struggle for independence has got a very unique character, which we are all aware. It is the result of non-violence movement. Many countries do adopt constitution. Many countries have achieved their self-identity by virtue of revolutions. But ours is no less stronger than that of a revolution. It has much more value in the sense that it is something which we get by peaceful means and methods. And I happened to come across one research finding where I heard from some other university. The point that was the finding that came out of that research was, those countries who have gained their independence by virtue of revolution and those countries who have achieved their independence in non-violent means, those countries, all of them having adopted constitutions, the countries which has got their self-identity by virtue of these peaceful movements, they remain to be very, very resilient societies when compared to those nations which have gained their independence by virtue of revolutionary movements which involve lot of violence. So this is a very standing feature that we have to observe, and our constitution is something, it contains such features that by utilizing, by adopting or by adhering to the spirit of constitution, peace is something that would be having its evergreen relevance. This is one aspect I want to bring to your notice. And having said that, I will just quickly go through some of the principles which are narrated by the United Nations with reference to the Constitution. Now it says that it describes Constitution as foundation of governance and law. Yes, of course, our Constitution does reflect that very much. And therefore, it says that it is the supreme law of the land. And United Nations in its report, it just made one observation. it said, this is a constitution which is based upon the premise of democracy. And any constitution which demised on the notion of or on the proposition of democracy is something, when we talk about the legitimacy, if you remember, I think if you can recollect the Kelson's, he talks about Brumna, and after reaching this Brumna, he says no more further questions about the legitimacy, what is the source of its authority. And United Nations in some statement, it said that you're starting your exercise on the premise of democracy, that is a source of legitimacy. And so therefore, that is one strong feature which we have. And of course, we do have given lot of importance to human rights. United Nations, it speaks about protection of human rights. Space for protection of human rights is a must for constitution. And then it speaks about legitimacy, fostering inclusivity and participation. This is also one of the recommendations that had come from the United Nations, that in the making of this constitution, because from 2009 onwards, United Nations has been assisting a lot in the designing of constitution by those countries who have become independent and those countries who are still in an unstable condition. So it has been rendering its assistance. It is in that process it has come out with this guidelines. And in this context, again one statement which has come is, exact statement I am giving, in India, proportional representation of minorities in the Constituent Assembly, in the very beginning, which was, it has succeeded in enacting inclusive provisions in the Constitution of India, provisions that were later extended over time. And saying that, it made this observation. The constitution building that includes and permits the participation of all legitimate groups, actors and stakeholders is more likely to result in institutional choices that strengthen rather than weaken the democratization. It talks about the strength of Indian constitution in this inclusive feature, and saying that it is something like, it illustrates that when the approach is an inclusive approach, it's a matter of strength rather than it's a matter of weakness. So this again is one close observation, a crucial observation that has come from the United Nations. And further, it also spoke about the necessity that it's also something like you also have to go by the principle of sustainable development. And I feel that constitution, when we observe on the whole, there is a lot of space for that would cater the goal of sustainable development. So these are my observations, taking into consideration the principles that were suggested by the United Nations, and I felt very proud that all the features which were supposed to be ideal principles to be included in the drafting of any constitution, we find those principles already included way back in the year 1947. So obviously, friends, I feel definitely this is a matter of great pride to us, and it's not just a matter of having some pride, but it's important that if we have to continue that sense of pride, we should also remember that the future generations also will have to have the pleasure of having this kind of a pride. So a lot depends upon how we conduct ourselves. Question of, there are a set of fundamental duties inscribed in our Indian Constitution. Each principle has got a great weightage. It speaks about the necessity of understanding the spirit of freedom struggle. So while we are enjoying the independence, the distorted way of understanding what is independence, that is a troublesome thing that we have to bear in mind. So we have to remember that Constitution has an essential spirit, and it's not just about praising or appreciating Constitution. Most important is how we conduct ourselves in abidance to this Indian Constitution. Strengthen the Indian Constitution much further. A lot hopes are to be placed on the youngsters like you. So there is always this we always observe that the present generations, they are very smart, they are very intelligent, but then it's very important that it's not just about smartness or intelligence, it's also more about the willingness to be wise enough utilizing, one of the fundamental duties is that you have to have the what is called a scientific temperament, but at the same time the duty also, fundamental duty also says that it has to be with the spirit of humanity. So we cannot be losing the spirit of humanity. We have to understand that the value of Indian Constitution, the value of rule of law, as our chief guest has been rightly suggesting you and giving you practical suggestions, small things, how you deal with your own affairs. We are not doing anything bigger things like our forefathers have done. To see that all of us we enjoy independence. The thing is that how responsible we are in managing our independence. Responsibility is more important than anything. That is what gives a solid future to our country, and that is what gives, it's a real tribute, or it's a real appreciation that we can give to our Indian Constitution. Thank you, friends.
Thank you for your address, ma'am. It is indeed a day of pride for all of us. We are now honored to welcome Dr. Professor S. Sumitra, ma'am, Professor and Formal Principal of Dr.B.R.Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University, as our guest of honor for today. She is a distinguished academician with MA, ML and PhD degrees. Ma'am specializes in environmental law and has contributed notable researches in areas including international law and territorial waters. During her tenure as principal of Dr.B.R.Ambedkar College, she led the college through its proud Platinum Jubilee celebrations, a milestone highlighted by national media. Her scholarship, leadership and commitment to legal education continue to inspire students and the legal community alike. I now request you to please address the gathering.
Thank you for all the good words. Vice-Chancellor, very good evening to all of you. And in fact, it's a great pleasure standing here and then having the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you all. And coming to DSNLU, it always feels like a homecoming for me. Because most of the Vice-Chancellors have come from Andhra University, almost many of the staff members also. We have a close relation, that's how. And friends, 76 years ago, we have given unto ourselves a constitution which promises us justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. So every word in the preamble is so profound that it would have a lasting impact on the life of the nation. And when we celebrate the Constitution Day, perhaps this is an occasion for us to remind ourselves of the great sacrifices of those people, and also the decision of those constitution makers who have given us, who have drafted this and given us this constitution. And friends, a constitution must be, this is a document, this must be a document which would unite all the people through shared and common goals and values, and inspire a spirit of nationalism amongst all the citizens also. And what happened with the Indian Constitution? So what did the constitution makers do? Those stalwarts who were involved in the drafting or making of the constitution, first and foremost, we remember Dr.B.R.Ambedkar being the chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution, and then the other stalwarts like Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, or maybe T.T. Krishnamachari, or K.M. Munshi, all these personalities, great personalities. And then the constitutional advisor, of course, Sri Benigala Narasimha Rao, who has been not only a civil servant, but he also represented India in the Security Council. He was the President of Security Council, and also he was the first ever judge from India in the International Court of Justice. And it must have been, with all their intellectual acumen and their expertise and experience, this must have been a Herculean task, a challenge for these persons to make the constitution. Because looking at the social, economic and political environment prevailing during that period. So India was emerging from the age of colonialism and then short of being totally independent. And Indian society is, it has never been homogeneous. Like a heterogeneous, multicultural, multi-racial and multilinguistic society, this is how we can define. And all these people, or all these different cultures and different religions, different ideologies, they had to be brought together and uniting them all, and then inspiring a spirit of nationality in all these people. So these people, these draftsmen have very successfully done it, and the way in which the constitution works, this is evidence, or this is a testimony to their hard work. And friends, it is said, not said, but it is something which all of us know, that while the constitution was being drafted, that was a time in the United Nations organization, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was also being prepared. And this was adopted in 1948, but simultaneously constitution was being drafted. And then the United Nations, the human rights ideology, it did have a profound impact on the drafting of the constitution. And we borrowed, we incorporated these human rights, or fundamental rights as we call them, into the Indian constitution. And we borrowed not only from the UDHR, but essentially from also the United States. And we borrowed several things from several countries. So the parliamentary form of democracy from United Kingdom, or maybe things like advisory opinions of the Supreme Court from Canada, or maybe from Australia and from France, liberty, equality and fraternity, and the ideals of the French Revolution and then the American War of Independence. They were still fresh, like they had a significant impact on us. And then the fundamental rights, apart from fundamental rights, the directive principles of state policy. We did take the models of Ireland, the Irish constitution, Japanese constitution and all these things. But what is that? Did we do a patchwork? Borrowing different things from different sources, it's like weaving a thesis or weaving a theory. And this was the challenge for the constitution makers, to synthesize all these values and then ideologies into one, and ultimately evolve a national spirit through the Constitution of India. And these ideas and the constitutional ideas and principles, they were drafted in such a way that they should be imbibed into the everyday lives of the people, and also into the everyday life of all the constitutional and state organs. So, this is a set of the basic values by which we would be governed. And it is 75 years since we have adopted this constitution, which has entered into force. Then, what happened? And there is a criticism or something, a viewpoint, that Indian constitution is amended, while American constitution was amended very few times, and Indian constitution within a period of 75 years was amended more than 100 times. But what does it show? Does it show any weakness of the constitution or its strength? Apart from being resilient, So any ideology or any principle, it will have to stand the test of times. So adapting itself to the changing times. And that is how the Constitution, we find several amendments to the Constitution. We have amended the preamble, and we have amended aspects relating to right to property, and then adding more schedules, more the local provisions relating to the local bodies, and then fundamental duties, incorporation of fundamental duties, and then infusing environmentalism through incorporation of directive principles, and then the fundamental duties, and all these things we have done. And apart from these direct amendments, the Constitution also has evolved. The constitutional principles have also evolved over a period of time through judicial interpretation. And perhaps Article 21 is the most discussed and debated article in the Constitution of India, with an expansive, adopting an expansive jurisprudence. So the scope of this article has been expanded beyond imagination, and we have fundamental rights of privacy, and then education, work, right to education, gender equality, all these things. And as we can see in the relatively recent past, the Sabarimala judgment, the triple talaq, and then the case relating to adultery, all these things, and synthesizing the principles of parliamentary sovereignty from United Kingdom, and then supremacy of the judiciary from United States, we have evolved the principle of constitutional supremacy. So, and whatever the institution may be, whatever the occasion may be, Constitution is supreme. And it is our everyday practices, and then everyday observance of these constitutional principles that would further go to strengthen the Constitution of India. And then while our forefathers have given us a document, a living document, and which, by virtue of which we are able to enjoy our freedom, dignity, and other rights. And all of us have an equal responsibility of passing on these values and then the fruits of their struggles to the forthcoming generations also. So thank you all, friends, for this great opportunity. And my special thanks are to Professor Prakasa, who has so gracefully invited me that I just couldn't say no also. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
I.P.S. and SP Anakapalli District. So thank you, sir, for your presence here and for this being valuable suggestions for how to manage the daily activities, morning to evening. And definitely, we'll assure you, sir, we'll take precautions with regard to all activities of our students. And also, I'm also thankful to DSP, sir, and local police, Ramchandra, they are very cooperative, sir. Every day they are consulting us, they are helping us in fact. I'm also thankful to Lakshmi for your valuable suggestions, Sumitra for your valuable insights in the Constitution. And
today, our Honorable SP sir birthday. A small arrangement was made outside the campus. Cake was arranged, and all of you are requested to attend that. And another announcement. So, in connection with this Constitution Day celebrations, we organized essay competition and debate competitions also. 13 students participated in the essay competition, and 6 students participated in the debate. So results will be announced shortly. Meanwhile, because this is the Constitution Day, in order to encourage the students in future to participate more and more, each
student participant will be given one Constitution of India text. So 13 plus 6, 19, they will collect from the Vice-Chancellor. So time is short, so that's it. Thank you.